Hello, and welcome back to the Cavalry Museum's video podcast. In last week's video, I told you about two rare swords in the museum's reserve collection. This week, I'm going to talk about a silver dog collar that is also in the reserve collection at Cavalry Barracks, Windsor, but is nonetheless available to view. In the 12 months from December 1899 to November 1900, the Household Cavalry was engaged in the Second Boer War. As with the suppression of the Urabi revolt in Egypt in 1882, our regiments deployed to South Africa in a joint formation, known once again as the Household Cavalry Composite Regiment. This comprised 3 squadrons, each provided by the 1st and 2nd Life Guards and the Royal Horse Guards. Although Queen Victoria had been opposed to the Household Cavalry's deployment in Egypt, this time she thoroughly approved and showed her approval by breaking her holiday at Balmoral and travelling down to Windsor to bid her Household Cavalry farewell. In this photo, midway up on the left, the Queen can just be seen sitting in a carriage behind 2 footmen watching the composite regiment march past her. When the composite regiment returned a year later, the Queen was once again at Windsor to welcome them. In this photo, she has her back to the camera because she's inspecting the Guard of Honour drawn up on the other side of her carriage. What is not recorded is if, at this time, the dog-loving Queen Victoria met Bob. He was a mongrel who had attached himself to the Blues Squadron whilst they were in South Africa and returned with them to England. Bob, who was named after Lord Roberts, the Commander-in-Chief in South Africa, was not, however, the first dog to have served with the Blues, which had acquired a stray Newfoundlander during the Peninsular War. The name he was given was Duke, presumably in honour of the Commander-in-Chief in the Peninsula, the Duke of Wellington. The Blues kennels at that time also included Spot, a pooch belonging to Captain William Tyrwhitt Drake, who was present at the Battle of Waterloo and a year later was immortalised in oils by William Henry Davis. Meanwhile, back to Bob, who, after the Boer War, continued his service with the Blues in England. The dog was in fact so highly valued that the officers of the Blues had commissioned for him an engraved silver dog collar embellished with medal ribbons. The collar's engravings, in addition to his name, include a royal crown and the regiment's title. Further round the collar, there is engraved a list of the engagements in South Africa at which Bob was present: Witbergen, Diamond Hill, at which in a rare event the regiment charged the enemy, Johannesburg, Driefontein, Paardeberg, and relief of Kimberley. The collar is also inset with medal ribbons including, in breach of War Office regulations, the Distinguished Service Medal, King Edward VII's Coronation Medal, the Queen's South Africa Medal, the King's South Africa Medal, and the Long Service Medal. Clearly, the officers of the Blues had no fear in thumbing their noses at the War Office, at least when it came to the award of medals to their dog. Along with the collar, now in the reserve collection of the Household Cavalry Museum at Cumbermere Barracks, is an oil painting of Bob with horse B56. I think we can assume that in 1900 it was far from being a dog's life in the Household Cavalry if you were a dog. I hope that you've enjoyed this brief look at one of the Household Cavalry's more unusual exhibits. Next week, I'm going to stay with the animal kingdom and we'll be looking at a couple of very remarkable horses. Until then, stay safe.